So I didn't learn code to make my first game demo, and when I released my first ever game devlog, the first comment I got was someone basically saying, "Hey, it's a nice idea, but you should learn to code." Now, 300 hours into my AI game development journey, I was able to release my first game demo. And I'm really happy with that milestone. And although the demo definitely has to be improved, which I will be re-updating it once I've released the full game, I was able to make it work. And I want to talk more about why I decided to go this route instead. So the first thing is, I think about a year ago, I did actually try and do some tutorials of game development, and that was okay, right? I could have kept doing that, and that was fine. But it didn't really feel like that was for me, and it felt like there was quite a lot to do. And I was, I believe, doing that, I was trying to do that, I believe, at the same time or when I was having a business already. So it was a bit in the way. Then at the June this year, 2025, I basically shut down my old business because I got burnt out from it and I wanted a new path. And I thought, well, because I used quite a bit of AI and, I actually used code with AI to make a few automations in my business, I figured, well, could I actually use AI to make code for my video game? And so I went and sort of tried and pushed at that. And within about 40 to 50 hours or something, I was able to make my first very ugly looking playable snippet of a combat scene. And from there, I then thought, okay, well, I can surely do more of this. I can surely keep going at this. And eventually, after 300 hours, I was able to get that first game demo out. And what was interesting is when I was searching up about, okay, well, how long do, typical developers spend? I realized that developers, that are coding and stuff will spend far more time, and energy to get a demo out, to get a game out. And so effectively, I realized, right, well, AI is certainly a shortcut, right? And I would say it definitely cut down a lot of time. So that is really like the main thing of it. And the reason why I've really just been sticking with this, right? And like I haven't bothered in learning any code at all, is because I enjoy what I'm doing. And I think AI has allowed me to focus on the more enjoyable parts, right? And just keep that energy and focus on the creativity and what I want for the game. Meanwhile, I can then outsource all of the coding, the image making, and even the video making to AI. And that's really key. And like, I know that other people are immediately going to think, okay, well, if the game's made by AI, you didn't really do it. Or perhaps, it's like, it's not going to be any good. And to that remark, I think, part of it, like both of those are partly true, right? Because yeah, sure, AI made all the code. I had to put the stuff together. So it's different. But I will say this, like it's a shortcut, right? And I have and I've got tons of respect for developers that spend, tons and tons of hours learning code and sort of doing that, right? But I genuinely think that this is going to be a better route, at least for me, but also for a lot of other people that perhaps want to get into game development, or have been perhaps curious about getting into game development, but haven't really, or at least have been perhaps thrown away or pushed off by, this whole learning curve of having to learn all the code. Now, what I will say is that it's not necessarily just easy. Sure, it's going to be easier than doing code, but the only issue with doing stuff with AI is that you're completely in the dark. At least when you're learning code, you're learning things as you go, and you'll be able to recognize things. For me, I don't really recognize any of the code that is being made. I just put it in, and I just sort of figure out things as I go. So you're entirely in the dark when you're using AI, and the biggest thing with AI is effectively AI is only as good as the context you give it. If you don't give it enough context, it's not going to work as well as you want it to, and the margin for error is going to be so much bigger. So effectively, there's always going to be problems that come along the way, but I think the approach of just using I think can really cut out a lot of time as well. So again, right, is the game I'm going to be making, like any good? I don't know. I'm just going to have to see. And given that this is going to be my first game that's going out called Scarred Steel, I'll just have to see. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be necessarily massively perfect. I'm going to try and put in as much effort as I can into it. And I believe I'm trying to release this by the end of this year, if not the beginning of next year. and I'll just see what feedback I get from it. But I do plan to release quite a few games in different genres. Ideally, I want to be able to release a new video game every year, perhaps even 2 a year, if I can do that, and just go from there. But I think part of it is just enjoying the process and again, trying to make games that I would enjoy. So if that's something that resonates with you, honestly, if you're someone which perhaps have been curious about making video games, you would be surprised about what you can actually make using AI and not have and having no knowledge at all. Like I didn't even know how to use Unity. I had to take screenshots of the damn Unity dashboard and give it to ChatGPT to say where is, like how do I make a script on Unity, right? Which sounds stupid, but like that's where I was. So let me know your thoughts if you would sort of go into that realm as well. And yeah, I'll chat soon.